house and whatever, this is informal. So just want you to know we're asking because we want to know. Now, I think what we need for our presentation, we need you put some figures, estimate figures. I can't go to Michael Ray, I can't go to Feds and say, look, down there they want to tear down this building. The first thing we want to know is how much it's gonna cost. You know, used to talking, we just run off at the mouth just saying we want it done. We need to have some approximate figures. So if you don't have them tonight, call our, and just give us some approximate so that we can talk about, when we start talking about Seaboard and others, we can say, this is approximately what it's gonna cost. And then if we tell you go get the engineer, then you can quickly go get the engineer and know that we've got a figure we're working with.
We'll have time to do that.
Yeah.
I understand. I got you.
We're gonna get those figures.
Okay.
Especially if you think it's a possibility.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We'll get those figures.
I always believe there's a possibility for it.
Yes, sir. When do you need them?
I need them now. Yeah, end of this week, if you will. I mean, just give us some. Okay, because when I give them a list, I want to say this is what we need. Town of Seaboard say this is what they need to accomplish this. Okay, because it seems like recreation, every department where the government gives money to Parks and Rec, they're going to get 10% is going to come out for counties like this. Okay, so I just want to be able to have something concrete. We can call back and say, yeah, we put this in and now this is what it's going to cost. Thank you. You want to say something? Board members?
I'm just making sure this is the old high school?
Yes.
Okay, all right, okay. I just making sure it wasn't another building. That's brick. So the cost of the disposal of the resources. So when you said 500,000, that made me think that's probably just the new building. The cost, when you think about the projects, think about total costs, like you don't have to go into your coffers for anything, what would it be? And so I gotcha.
Okay.
We've gotten a figure in the past, but we just years ago right there.
Yes.
So that was around 200,000. So.
That's what I was thinking.
Just saying.
All right.
So you're looking at like something like a Butler building, the metal with a brick face or concrete slab kind of building. Okay. Thank you.
And in your situation, when I'm talking to USDA, they're saying, well, we can take down the building, but we can't build another building. That would help, wouldn't it? Okay, that's all I want to know. I see that our representative don't have a paper in his hand. Will you please give him this Representative Ray? Will you please give him so he'll have something to take the right? Yeah, there we go. Yes, Lord, there we go. Yes.
We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you. The board members, any other questions?
I think if they could provide a picture of the existing building so people can see.
When we have our presentation.
Okay, if you got a picture of that building, see her likewise, we'll put that in our presentation.
Some of these notes is, if you'll take those down, if it's something dealing with the structure or location, if you can forward that as a picture.
Got it.
In the town's defense, we just received our letter this morning, so we pulled this together this morning.
Okay.
We received the
Thank you.
invitation on
Well,
Friday.
you're on the ball. That's why you mayor. Amen. Okay, thank you. I know you all got to go. You got a public hearing, so we want to have you come. Anybody else need to leave because of? Yes, sir. Come on, Mayor. Come on, Gerdsburg. Come on, Gerdsburg. Come on. Okay, I'm sorry that I called it late. Yes, sir.
Chairman Tyner and the board for this opportunity. I'm always working on something, so I'm gonna be brief. As you may or may not know, the town of Garrettsburg purchased the Garrettsburg School. And there's one building we're gonna tear down. We've already gotten the funding to tear that building down.
Yes.
And we want to do a pavilion. funding is gonna be needed. We also have housing that's already got the plan together. All we lacking is funding. As we submitted, we realized that with the changing of the pricing and everything, the money that we have is not gonna be sufficient to do what we need to do. I can get you all the information you need, the plan and everything. I can have that to you. Like I said, it's a kind of short notice. I have a individual out of Charlotte who's working with me. Mr. Spade is aware of her. You know her because I've already made sure he did.
Yeah,
And again, Representative Ray, I want to thank you for what you have done. We have a track there. Representative Ray have gotten us some funding. So we're doing a health and wellness center. He's gotten us some funding to do the HVAC system, but we're gonna need some equipment for that, for our walking track in our park, need some equipment. So if numbers are something that you're in need of, we can work on those quickly. Quickly, we can work on those. And also, under Mr. Jackson, I submitted to you all a plan for my commercial kitchen. The county already have that. We have started working on that, so we need equipment for that.
I thought you just got $100,000 for this.
That's for the that's for the health and wellness center. They had nothing to do with the kitchen. Nothing to do with the kitchen. That's the health and wellness center where we have our walking track.
Okay.
He got us the funds to put a HVAC system in, and also to help us with we need to replace the windows in that building. That's the old kindergarten building. We already started renovating it. So you better believe that you've been knowing me for a while. Okay, so I have all the numbers that you would need. Like I said, this was a short notice thing, and I had another meeting scheduled, but I will have all those. I talked with my housing person today, and I told her I was coming to this meeting, and I wanted to know what it was about before I asked her to submit me anything. So now I know what I need in my hand. I will get to her, and I have her to submit everything, pricing and everything for you, hopefully by the end of the week or the first of the week.
That'll be fine.
Okay?
Okay.
Any question?
Yeah, let me say, I do know that Mr. Spake is working on a special project. Yeah, I know that. I just want you to know that I know that, and I told him that please do it. But we're very much interested in housing in your area. I want you to know that we know that as a commissioner, and that's one of our things that we're interested in. And there are some houses coming to your area. There are some houses coming. Okay, there's some more houses coming.
Good.
Okay, there's some more houses.
We need as many houses we can get.
I know. You know what? The reason we need houses, folks, is we lost that new road coming through. We lost county revenue, tax money, because the new houses, the houses that they tore down, that they purchased, like about 60 houses. 60 houses we're lacking that people was living in. I ain't talking about the ones that were the one living in, but still they were paying taxes. We gonna lack in those taxes this year. That's why we gotta have some more houses, okay? Houses good for us, long term.
Yes.
Long term.
Yes.
Okay, if you get those numbers, and we'll be working with you
Okay.
in those areas.
Yeah, good. Any more questions? Man, again, I want to appreciate the opportunity. As again, it was kind of short notice, and I did have another meeting scheduled for tonight, but I wanted to come down here to see what this was about. And like I said, I told her I will get back with her as soon as I find out what it was, and I sure appreciate you. Any more questions from me?
Any more questions, board member?
We'll just wait for your information. Thank you.
Okay, and I wanna just say to the rest of the towns, if I can help you with anything, just let me know. Because we're in this together, I agree with you.
That's it. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Anybody else gotta leave? No one wants to leave. Let's go to Conway. Conway. Give us your name, because
My
we
name is Lee Duke. I'm the mayor of Conway now,
want the new mayor.
sir.
Sir.
Three projects that we talked about involve infrastructure for sewer and water. The first one is piping replacement for our sewer spray field.
That would include piping going from the lagoon all the way out to the 4 spray fields. That would also include the spray heads and the nozzles to spray the stuff after it's been treated.
Okay,
The second item is replacement of all water service line inside the town limits of Conway and piping replacement for number 5 well, which is our main well. That piping is terribly deteriorated. I looked at it a couple of days ago. But I know Rachel can speak to this as well as me. We're patching patches on our water service lines in town limits. That stuff was put there when I was a little boy, and that's been a minute. Okay, so that really needs attention. The third and final one is number 8 lift station, again, back to the sewer. That particular lift station handles a larger volume of the sewer waste than any other lift station that we have. And I talked to the facilities people this morning, and they said it would be really nice if we could increase the capacity of that pump lift station. Change the pump, higher capacity, and a larger motor. So that's our 3 things. Unfortunately, I do not have any numbers tonight. Like
right, you're
the
fine.
gentleman, I got the letter yesterday morning, and I scrambled really then to get 3 things put together. But I will try to get those numbers as soon as possible. Any questions about anything? And I'll be glad to leave this with you. I'd only brought 1 copy, but you're welcome to it.
So water and sewer seem to be your number 1,
Yes, sir.
and we just need some dollars.
I'll get right on it, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ray, Representative Ray, we do notice coming up in September is when you all will be taking applications, more applications for water and sewer. I think our towns, Conway in particular, needs to know that there is funds available. And my Representative Ray will tell you about it. Yes, go on.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the invite. Short notice, but I'm here. I'm gonna be on the ball field watching one of my boys play ball and probably about 8:15 tonight. But thank everyone for what you do, and thank you for our municipalities coming tonight. We had a good session this last session, and congratulations up under the circumstance. I think you're gonna do good in Conway. It was a bad situation. You lost a good man. But basically, as I've gone around the municipalities throughout the last probably 2 or 3 weeks, North Carolina, you can apply up to $15 million this last year and this year. And so the last cycle is in due on September the 30th. You can apply up to $15 million for water and sewer. But what I have talked to a lot of municipalities that I have talked to is you need to work through your local council of government out of Wilson, which you're all members of the local COG. The county's a member. They have grant writers that help you. You need to have an engineering firm to have the logistics and the numbers, because when you apply, give you an example, the town of Enfield applied, the town of Sharpsburg applied, which is not in Halifax County, it's in Edgecombe County. But they applied in the town of Warrenton, which is in Warren County. I got a phone call from Warrenton talking about they were approved because they were a distressed area for water and sewer, and they were approved. Sharpsburg was approved, and the other facility community was approved, Enfield. But they had a grant writer, and I spoke to him yesterday, and we had a good discussion. But bottom line is the grant writer forgot to get a resolution from the local municipalities. And, we do have laws and strict guidelines. And so they were kicked out. And so the grant writer was like, well, it was my mistake. So the moral of the story is they're going to reapply in September with what they need to do and be in compliance. So I went all the way to the Secretary of DEQ. But our local municipalities, for example, in Gaston, we're very blessed because we got the Roanoke Rapids Sanitary District. But a lot of our local municipalities have infrastructure with the spray fields and the water. So the money is available, it's there, but you have to apply for it. You have to have a master plan. You have to have an engineer to lay out your presentation. So September the 30th is the deadline. You have the council of government that has grant writers that will help you. Of course, they get a fee through that process, but you know, the money's available for distressed areas. And so, and everyone knows there's no free money. I mean, people can say it's no free money. It's your taxpayers' money. It's the taxpayers all the way from your local municipality. I mean, local county, you know, everybody all the way up. So, but you know, if you don't apply for it, you don't get it. And so again, just, you know, it's up to $15 million per cycle. That's including last year and this year. So if you apply, for example, give you, the town of Scotland Neck applied and they got $14.2 million. So they just took their wastewater and sewer water system over last year from a private contract that was managing their facility. So it's there, you know, but everybody needs it.
I have one question. I know it was up to 15 million, but let's say there's a town that does not have an assessment, has not completed an assessment of their water and sewer system. Will that type of grant allow them? Because I know some grants require you to have an assessment or an evaluation, or there's a technical term they use for it, but that's basically what it is. The age and the life that's left in certain things before you can actually apply for a grant. So would that type of grant provide for our towns that haven't completed an assessment?
Ms. Boone, I guarantee
Ms.
you.
Faulkner, my
Ms.
math.
Faulkner, I'm sorry. Ms. Faulkner, look like Ms. Boone, look like she was reading or something.
Probably
But
shaking
Ms.
her head.
Faulkner, but I guarantee you this. If you're a county manager, and welcome aboard. First time I've got a chance to see you, but welcome aboard. I look forward to conversations with you. The bottom line is if you send me an email, we will get you an answer. But if you don't ask, we do not know. But
Okay.
again, you need to have a master plan. You know, we have, you know, spray fields that, you know, we need to provide with DEQ. But someone sends me email, we will respond and we will get you an answer.
Okay.
But most of our local municipalities already have their systems,
All right.
most of them.
Thank you.
But you send me an email, we'll get you an answer.
From my experience, it's been that the state and the feds, because this money comes at such short notice, if you got your things shovel ready, you're most likely do more than a person who haven't done anything, doesn't have any engineering report, no nothing. If you got it shovel ready and ready to go,
Give you an example. The town of Seaboard had to leave. They had a public hearing, the town of Seaboard. And the last year, which was the beginning of the long session, the budget was on the way down the road. And Mayor Langford and the town council reached out to me for $8 million to help the town of Seaboard to work for the infrastructure upgrades for the upgrades that West Frazier's doing. I requested 8 million and got 4 million from them, but they had statistics and data information from their engineering group, what they needed. So it wasn't here's $4 million, just go spend it. So they had a plan, a vision, just like in the town of Littleton, which is in Halifax County, but they had a request for 4 million and we were able to get 2 million for them. So they had a plan, but you know, you need to have a plan. And that's the reason it's very important to use your local COG, your local engineering firms, whichever municipality uses, the different one uses different ones. So.
Thank you.
and then thank you. I'm finished with you.
Representative Ray, what dealings does the SWIA have with this particular funding opportunity?
Give me the definition. I deal with $28 billion budget. I
The
mean,
State Water Infrastructure Authority, the SWIA,
they approved applications. A lot
so
of
they
it's-
will
it's stiff.
approve the $15 million,
Up to 15 million.
up to $15 million application.
But you got to realize we only have a certain pot of money. So,
Right,
you know, we have 100 counties and all these municipalities,
right.
just because like we had the first leg that people applied, people got it. Like I said, Enfield, Warrenton, Sharpsburg got
Mhm.
disapproved, but that money, you know, went to someone else. So, I mean, you know, again, You know, we go back in session in January, we start the next year physical budget. I mean, but it goes through DEQ, Division of Water Quality.
I thought so.
So especially checks and balances.
Right. So I recall, you know, we put forth an application on behalf of some citizens in the town of Jackson, off of Barrows Mills Road. I believe
very
you're
aware-
familiar
I'm very
with
aware
that
of that.
project. Is this something that could possibly be funded? If $15 million is up for grabs, and I remember,
Mike Scott wrote the application,
Right.
wrote the application that you all have applied, I think, a couple of times.
yeah,
And I went to the DEQ staff and we fought really, really hard with them. And they were talking about the amount of houses that it was going to cost per house was non-feasible for that kind of money at that particular time. So my argument with them was that we needed some seed money to go do some engineering cost. And that was the last conversation I've had about the Barrows Mill project. But again, my argument was that we are rural North Carolina. We do need help. But their argument was, I think it was like 20 houses. I have to look, but they were talking about it was like going to be like $100,000 per home. And I think that's the challenge we have with that particular project, if I'm not mistaken, Ms. Mayor.
mhm. But $15 million, up to $15 million.
But again, you know, you as a county have a right to apply for that, or the town of Jackson, if it's in the municipality and the threshold, they
Right.
have a right to apply for it.
Right.
Just because if you don't have a master plan and you don't apply, you don't know. You got to be in the game to play the game.
And they were, you
But
know,
I
we
just,
have
I
been
just,
for
I
the
just
past
gave you the
2
answer.
years.
I just
Yeah.
gave you the answer.
Okay.
That's what happened. I mean, they couldn't justify.
Mm.
It's a group of people that go in there and look at shovel-ready projects, and they just could not see that feasibility of 20 homes. And I've said all 20 homes are important to me, important to me.
Right.
But I'm just saying, they could not see the justification of 100,000 per home.
And one more
They
thing,
wanted to look at options. I think they wanted to give you seed money to do more extensive checking into it.
mhm, and Representative Ray, I looked into that particular board. A lot of them are located on the western end of the state of North Carolina. So, you know, advocate for representation, you know, of people on the eastern end at the state level.
Well, I'm working,
Because someone needs to,
I'm working my butt off for you.
I know
I'm
it.
very aware of that project, and I know they applied twice for it.
Mhm.
But I had discussion with Mike Scott personally, and
Yeah.
he's the grant writer. But
We
you're
need
more than welcome
some-
to send me an email,
Yeah.
Mr. County Manager. Let me know your status, because you all have to apply for it.
We do need to be seen on the western end. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just saying, we're just giving you facts. I don't make the appointments to the boards, the governor.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. To all of you who are mayors, let me tell you, if you really want to be ready, you're going to have to take the initiative to have your engineer or someone give you some information that we can send, that you can send to anybody who's going to give you the grant. I want you to note that, because sometimes we think that things going to happen, that we're going to do it all, and we're not going to do it all. You have got to do that. Be ready when it comes. Come on, Jackson. Jackson. Jackson.
Good evening, Chairman Tyner and
Good evening.
commissioners. I'm a former mayor, of course. Our current mayor is Monty Hucks. I'd like to introduce him. He asked me to give a presentation this evening because I'm in charge of economic development and downtown revitalization. So this kind of dovetails into that. What we did with respect to developing 3 initiatives, 3 things for our wish list. First, we set down a criteria, and each project that we looked at had to meet that criteria. Part of that criteria was economic development. If it didn't precipitate economic development, you know, that caused us some concern. Promoting tourism development opportunities, that was important as well. And of course, obviously, number 3, and very importantly, would it enhance the quality of life for our citizens? So with that in mind, we prioritize that list. And number one was to install a new well and SCADA system for the town. Currently, the town has one deep artesian well. And we do have a secondary water source on North Church Street, just around the borderline of the town. We have a valve where we can manually operate that valve if we lose our well for a time and we go to county water. Of course, it's metered, so we're paying the county for the water, obviously. But we do have that, but there's a problem with regard to that particular valve. If the cotton gin is ginning, and that's usually October through December, the fall and winter periods. If in fact that's in operation, then if we have to go to that secondary water source, it does not fill the water tank. So you can envision if you had a fire on top of that, you're going to build a close to $20 million new courthouse with an annex. And I think it's very important that we cure the lack of a reliable secondary water source. And the state has made it eminently clear that every municipality in North Carolina must have a secure secondary water source. So that's number one on our wish list. Our well, our sole well right now is pumping 70 gallons a minute, and it's somewhat labored to meet that production level. So we think this is very critical. And I think it's particularly critical when we look at this infrastructure, when I look at all of the proposed very substantial building projects in and around Jackson. I think we all would share that concern, especially on the sewer infrastructure, which I'm going to touch on. So number two on that list, we're dealing again with water sewer. This is sewer, our waste disposal system. We need upgrades. We've done upgrades over the years, but we've had a little problem with respect to the grants. We've met with COG a number of times, including a couple months ago. We've met with our engineer, and they do grant writing as well. But we have a little problem with LMI, low to moderate income. So when we look at those grants, we've been advised we have to do two things. One, we have to raise rates substantially, and we're flexible with rates, but it's not the right economic environment to do that if you can avoid it. But that's number one. Number two on that is we basically, there's so many towns applying for these grants, and you get on that long waiting list. But I do see a golden opportunity maybe to partner with the county, looking at the new proposed housing project, obviously the new courthouse. We're building a new fire department, what fire department is. Looking at the possibility of Odom Prison. See, right now we're at capacity. We can take on very, very little at this particular time. So what we've got there, we've got, like most municipalities in North Carolina, we've got an outdated system. It's fragile. It lacks capacity. We're repairing it constantly. We've had 2 expensive projects the last week alone with regard to that. So that's very paramount in our minds that we do something with regard to that. There's a lot of infiltration, which is typical of these old systems. And that infiltration puts a lot of pressure on the lagoon, on the spray fields. So we feel like that's a very important project. We put it number 2 because we're really concerned if we lost our well, can we get the sufficient supply of water that we need to our people? Now, number 3 on our wish list, it's infrastructure related, obviously, but it's not water sewer. For years, we've talked about securing a grant to remove our telephone poles, bury our power lines, brick the sidewalks, put up nice wrought iron black street lamps, to make the downtown even more attractive than it is now. And currently we have a pretty substantial revitalization effort going on, thanks to a grant Representative Ray secured for us. So this is we put this as number 3. Obviously 1 and 2 are far and away the most important, but that is something else, because we the leaders in Jackson, 30 years I've been here, we've always been very cognizant of the fact that we're the county seat, and we feel like there's a special responsibility to keep it clean, attractive, up to date. And we think this revitalization project is going to really be transformative. So that's number 3. I could give you 4, 5, and 6, but that's another day.
Well, Miss, you have any question?
And this is not on your wish list, but do you have any thoughts on the vacant? It was a former, well, a couple of former convenience stores right here in the city.
Yeah, there's actually one, okay. We've got 3 new businesses coming in. 2 I could discuss, 1 I can't yet. And the fire department is constructing a new fire department, so that'll be going on as well. And you'll like the location since you're investing all that money in the new courthouse and annex, because it will be the farmer's market site, 3.3 acres. Now, with respect to your question directly, the one that was an old service station where Prudence Mechanical was, right opposite my good friend James Odom, that's going to be demolished in the next, hopefully 90 days. And there's going to be one of those drive-up ice vendors there. It's going to be an attractive one. We have stipulated they have to have a green space. This needs to have an awning, so it will be aesthetically pleasing to the town. The one across from Minitzer between Family Dollar and Super Fresh, that was purchased. And that's going to be a new convenience store, more with a focus on, this is at least the plan now, to serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, and then we have a refinishing antique business coming into one of the other storefronts. And we have business much like Nell Martin had, that's going to go into the old Kennedy 5 and Dome. So we'll have 100% occupancy.
That's what I want.
We have no more buildings.
Thank you.
Okay, look, I just got one question. I probably shouldn't ask, but number 2.
Yeah.
Has you got any dollars
Well,
about how much it'll cost to do?
Charles, I'll tell you what we've done. Over the years, we have got grants, but the grants were for pieces of the project. And we had to mostly where the LMI would qualify us for a grant. The problem with these smaller municipalities, if you struggle with that LMI, you have to put up a 25% match. And when you take $250,000 out of your enterprise fund, you've got a substantial hole that's very, very difficult to cover. So, so we've kind of done it piecemeal. Is the best word I could utilize there. And, but we've been working with COG. We've been working with our engineer. And, you know, we don't have numbers yet, but we will.
We get those numbers.
Yeah.
We're very much interested in that number.
Yeah.
Because you cannot grow this town
You can't grow.
without, and I know it's getting ready to grow. Okay.
You're right, what you
and I-
said earlier,
I-
it's sewer system.
I got that.
That's where it's at.
Those are numbers we need to have.
Yeah.
Because we want to go on record to, as a county, to make sure that that's taken care of because of the growth of our,
Exactly. My very thoughts, yeah.
of our town, Jackson. Okay,
Anything else?
thank you.
Okay.
Come Rich Square. Okay.
All right, Barry.
For coming and here is problems in Rich Square. Number 1, Old Creasy School. If you don't do nothing, but it's getting worse and worse every day. And I would love to have something like here in Jackson, was to be like a wellness center. A lot of folks say they come to Jackson to work out and all that stuff. They stay right there in Rich Square. They can do it right there in town. They shooting ball out there every day. And the main thing is, these want to get their grass cut. I know they cut it about 3 weeks ago, but it's up there again.
And the seventh thing is, oh, Hoodoo building in Rich Square, which is falling down in the back. And I got some estimates on that. That's talked to a contractor, he said he'll charge $300,000 to tear it down. I might can get some cheaper estimate on that, but that's what I got for now. And the third is old buildings and stuff downtown Red Square that need to be modernized and torn down. People just, I don't see how people move out of the house and leave. Just forget about it.
Got it. Board members, heard from Rich Square. Any questions? We're working on Rich Square as we speak. The school building, and, you know, some estimates and so forth. Those come through, board commissioners be able to act on them and so forth. And county managers aware of the grass and all that. But doesn't belong to.
I hate to see that school to go down. All the- And the kids, all they do, they walk all night, throw rocks and break windows. We just slow down now since we got police chief in town, so that slow down a whole lot with that.
Can't give up.
No,
That's you. Give up. Any questions? Questions?
I know you mentioned that it's in foreclosure by the county, so that property is owned, still at this point owned by another
a
citizen.
property.
Number two.
Number two, yeah, I spoke to his son
Mhm.
and he said he get back with me yesterday. I spoke to him last week. He get back with me yesterday. So I called this week. No longer in service.
Okay.
What we'll do, we'll work on that. You need to work on that. We need to see about taxes and so forth.
Right.
We'll talk about that. That's kind of personal. We'll talk about that along with it. Okay?
Yes, sir.
We got it.
Got it.
We'll put it on our list.
Put it on the list.
We probably need, we got WS Creature, we'll have that. And you already gave us the figure on that one. And the places in town, if you got any figures, we would like to have that. What it costs to tear them down. Then you know you can't tear them down unless they belong to you.
Right, I know. I've been to that. I've
Okay,
been about 2 or 3 years ago. I've been to that.
okay,
I know how that works.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, yes, sir.
How about Alaska? Alaska, Severn, either one. Alaska.
Like to thank you for having us out tonight and listening to what we need as far as projects in the town of Alaska. Number one is a walking trail. We need that badly. We've got 4 acres on the town hall property. And we have senior citizens, we have individuals who walk for their health, and they have to walk on state roads. We have 2 state roads in the town of Alaska. So this would benefit them tremendously. The other one is a picnic shelter there on the town hall for our functions that we have in town. We've already had 2 this year, and we have to hold them at individual homes. Number 2 is the demolition of the old bank building. It was built in the early 1900s, 2-story brick. I'm sure y'all have seen it. It's collapsing at the top. It's completely collapsed at the top. The foundation is collapsing. We need to have it demolished. And that's the number 2 project. Number 3 is the old fire department building. The fire department uses that now for cooking inside for their fundraisers. We're having to put a roof on there. We just got the town that's putting that on there now. It was leaking pretty bad. It needs painting outside, inside, and the fire department uses that also for storage. And they're going to, once we get it cleaned up, then they're going to use it for training. So that's the three items that came up, and met last night with the town board to get their opinion on what they needed to do. So that's short notice, but I'll get the information to you as quick as I can as far as the money's concerned.
Does the old bank building belong to you all?
Yes, it does. It was left to us.
Board members, you have any questions? Questions? Any questions? Just give us some figures. Okay? Appreciate it. Thank you. Severn, North Carolina.
Good afternoon. I'm Marshall Laster, representing the town of Severn, and my mayor, Mr. George McGee. This is quick notice on these projects, but I have, our three are as follows. Our first choice is a water project consisting of the water tank repair that would allow our 75,000 gallon water tank remain at least 75% full. Currently, our tank goes from empty to near full with no assurance of water available, and to include first-year tank maintenance. To replace 1,100 feet of 2-inch iron pipe, which has been in the ground more than 50 years and is quite a problem with leaks. The total price on that, on the water project, is $46,000. And those figures are pretty accurate, I believe. Our second choice is to clean up the dilapidated houses in Severn, and some are on Main Street and some are on South Street, and get the houses that are dilapidated to either allow to be demolished or to put those houses in order that people could live in. It certainly detracts from their neighbor. It affects the value of their property, and it looks terrible. The cost to do that, some are going to have to be, and I have some pictures here. I do have some pictures of what these houses look like that need to be torn down. We estimated that would be about $200,000, and that is not, that is just an estimate. I will get some figures on that. Our third choice was some playground equipment for our young people to have to enjoy. And the estimated cost on that is $75,000. Be glad to answer any questions. And Chairman Tyner, thank you for having this meeting, chairing it, and inviting us to come and be a part of it. I thank you for that.
I want you to know that I personally am very much interested in the water situation in Severn. The largest employer that we have is in Severn. Severn Peanut Company, Reservoir Plant, Meharron, okay, fertilizer. They are really for Northampton County, for Southside Virginia. They are the companies, and I want to, and I'm really was looking. And I know we can't help from listening to about the water situation you have, because we don't want to do anything but grow Severn Peanut Company and the Reservoir Plant all we want to do is just grow them. I want to thank, Michael Ray, Representative Ray for the new fire truck. Didn't you get a new fire truck?
Yes, we did.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. We're gonna keep these in mind. Give us the other numbers that you have, but I took notice of $46,000 you're talking about for your water. I really took notice of that.
Chairman Tyner, I have a request for the county to consider as well.
Yes.
We need a DMV office somewhere in Northampton County. The one in Murfreesboro is gone, the one in Ahoskie is gone, and you go to Roanoke Rapids and stand in line forever.
All right. I tell you what, I gotta be, that was on our radar when I was serving, and we just kind of let it go by. Since you brought it back, we were talking about having it in Conway, be honest with you. Someone from Conway had mentioned it. We need that. Oh, there go. Yeah, okay, y'all, okay, that's fine. Just as long as we get it in Northampton County. Thank you. That's right. Got it. The only place you can go is the Oscar. Thank you. We appreciate it, okay? All right, come now, Gaskell. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. Should you get one?
First, let me thank everyone for inviting us to this meeting. I want to thank Michael Ray for helping us in the town of Gaston. We have 3 things that we are working on right now, and that's the purchasing the EMS old building. We want to turn that into a community center. As you know, our community center is very small. So we're going to work on the small community center into that's number 2, is work on a senior citizen building. We have a lot of seniors in Northampton County, on the western end of the county and in Gaston. So we want to do something for them. Our 3rd thing is we're working on the ball field. Thanks to Representative Ray, he has helped us get funds to help us start on the field. We're also looking for some work equipment. So if there's anything that the board can help us with, we would really appreciate it.
We said work equipment, what you talking?
No, we just got a backhoe. I'm not sure of all the equipment.
Give me today, but just give it to us.
We'll make sure we get that.
Gotta make sure we got it.
Okay, and we'll make sure we get y'all the prices of everything that you need. Is there any questions?
The old EMS, and I need to ask this, who owns that building now?
The rescue squad, and fire department.
Or are you purchasing from them? Are you
Yes, we're gonna purchase it from them.
for no money? I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Talk to Michael Ray about that. He lives in Gaston. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Again, and we
More
see
questions?
those, just give us those figures.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
And the logistics of that bill, and we need to know what the logistics are. Because it might be that we can work with the owner and see what they'll do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Whitland. Whitland, thank you.
Good evening, Chairman, Representative Ray. I'm going to be brief, but I'm pretty much having the same problem that my fellow municipalities having. My name is Randy B. I'm the mayor of Woodland. We're doing a lot of great things in Woodland. We are town is on the move. However, we having a problem with our water infrastructure, replacing the sewer line, the manhole, and wastewater. However, we currently working with River and Associate. They are great. Kind of maneuvering us through the maze. We got several projects going on in the town. So we're addressing all these issues, but we just need more help. We got a great team like the rest of them. We have a detailed plan of it, but I do not have in the figures as of yet. However, by Friday or Monday at the latest, I'll get with my team and bring back some figures. I'd just like to say, if you get opportunity, stop through Woodland, you see that we have built a new fire department. We're doing a lot of great things. It's very attractive, and I'm proud of my team. So I would like to pass this out to each and every one of, no figures up there yet. However, I will get you some figures. Any questions?
Let me see your list there.
Thank you. So they're all the same.
Uh-huh. Water.
Water, same.
Water.
I know there was an issue last week, week before last. First week, was it last week before last? Was it a water break, water line break or something in town? Was that a part of the issues here that you're trying to?
It is. The pipes is old as Methuselah all over town. And we put in new lift stations. We're working on one now, but the pipes need to be replaced. So you put in a new lift station, the pipes can't take the pressure, so you got leaks.
Water and sewer.
Any more question?
Water and sewer. Yes.
Hey, Mayor.
How you doing? Nice meeting you.
I just wanted to tell you that I came to the town of Woodland, and you were not in town at that particular day. But I do want to tell you that the town of Woodland, I asked them about the funding. We talked about water and sewer earlier. And that was one of their main concerns. And I asked them, were they participating with the local COG? And they said no. And I said, have you got any figures, anything? They said no. So I want you to know that Robert Height is the executive director of the COG, is going to the September meeting, and I will be there also. So they will know who the COG is to help with your funding. But I just wanted to mention that to you because, again, your town was like, well, Michael Ray, we need help. What are you doing for us? And I'm like, you hadn't asked me for anything. So just want to let you know that those resources are there, Mayor, and I hadn't had a chance to meet you, but look forward to continue working with you in the town of Woodland because all of our communities are very important. So just wanted to mention that to you and to everyone. Because again, it sounds like all these needs here are water and sewer, and every human being needs water, and we have to control our sewer systems and operation. So again, collaboration. USDA has a lot of federal dollars, but again, if you don't have a master plan, we can't fix these problems. So.
Nice meeting you, Mr. Ray. I was out of town working that day, but thank you for all you do for our town.
Okay. Have I forgotten the town? And got a lot of information today. It's good that we can all sit down and share the information. Now we see what some of the needs are in our county. We are appreciative of your coming today and sitting in here and listening to towns. And perhaps since I've been on board, this is the first time we've had this kind of meeting that we could sit down together and talk about needs. Perhaps there's any question anybody else would like to address this board with at this time, any citizen, just on about what we talked about.
We didn't have any.
You didn't have it, okay.
Not to say that someone doesn't have one.
Okay. Where do we go from here? We've got all this list. And again, it's a wish list. Some of it might come true, some might not. But we got to start somewhere. This is a good time to start, folks. There are monies available. We ask and beg of you as a municipality, go out yourselves and talk with our representatives, people in Raleigh about your needs, put in your application. You'll never know anything unless you put in application. And you got to do that. Put in application. It's like playing the lottery. You won't ever win if you don't play. Never. All I'm saying to you, let's put in applications from across this county. I'll be talking with the Cobbs likewise. We have a meeting next week. I'll be talking with Carl likewise, and I might even share this entire list with them and talking with them and asking them what can they do to help us. And it seems to be that water and sewer. Seems to be that water and sewer. What I'm listening to is water and sewer, old pipes. We just need to wells likewise that we are planning to do. And what our interest going to be, your interest, I want you to know, we're going to formulate the county interest in these to correlate with you all. We're going to say more houses, and we got to have better sewer lines. That's it. Water, we got to have better water. You know, so what ours going to be the same as yours. One big one that we'll probably have, so that you'll know, is going to be our own wastewater treatment plant, that we don't have to send all of it to Roanoke Rapids. You all do not know, but millions, I mean millions of our dollars go to Roanoke Rapids because everybody on the Gettysburg, on the all their sewer goes to Roanoke Rapids. So we're gonna look in how we can have our own sewer system for the county that would take care of the growth on the western end of the county, okay? Because that's where a lot of it is coming. It's coming on the west. And we're preparing for that growth and be prepared when it comes. We're open for business in Northampton County. You cannot say you're open for business and you can't take their sewer. Cannot say you're open for business and you can't give them good water. You cannot say you're open for business and you don't have the transportation, the roads. We are open for business and we're going to make sure our infrastructure is in place. That's what we're working on. Infrastructure is in place. There'll be nothing else said. Commissioners, y'all have any questions y'all want to ask? Time is trying to do some timely manner. Any questions?
I don't have a question, but I also heard quality of life for our youth and our seniors, walking trails, playgrounds. We got to give our people something healthy to do. And that's a passion of mine. And I'm hoping that we can put our minds together to, if we can't bring big recreation activities, at least we can bring the ones that the good Lord put outside for us. It's some fresh air and to take advantage of that. So
If we can help you, please let us know. All I can say, talk to us. We'll let you know all we know. That's why we call you together tonight. We didn't want to guess when those people come. We want to give them facts. This is where we are. County Manager, do you have any conversation?
I don't have anything new for this evening. I just want to, as usual, tell everyone, thank you for coming out. We appreciate you all coming and participating, showing your interest and your concern. So we do appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have a motion then to adjourn?
So moved.
Moving properly second that we would adjourn this meeting of Northampton County Board of Commissioners. All in favor, known by you saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Not too bad, folks. We didn't do too bad.
No.
Okay, got you out here.
Get my playground over there this way.
Okay, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it.
Okay. Real busy.